Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name is Becky and this is Brea Makes Art, and today we are going to be decorating the sketchbook cover of my 9th sketchbook since I really kind of started doing sketchbooking again a few years ago. Today I'm going to be using my Artix acrylic markers. That was a terrible idea. They went everywhere. To decorate the cover here, I have been kind of fiddling around with some ideas. I had sketched out a bunch of ideas in a previous sketchbook and was trying a couple of things out. As you can see, I have already started in here, and then I was coming over here to kind of get an idea of what some of the ideas would look like on the cover. So I think I'm gonna go with this cute little kind of mushroom guy here on the front, and he's going to take up most of it, and then I'll say sketchbook number 9 or something over here. Okay, so I can just barely kind of see that, and now I'm going to go ahead and sketch that in with this gel pen. This is an Arteza gel pen that I think I probably got out of one of the advent calendars from Arteza. It seemed to work pretty well, just kind of really quickly. So let's go ahead and sketch my idea on here, just so that I kind of have a baseline of where I want things to be. And I'm going to be painting over all of this. That's kind of the basic gist of it. It's going to be this big mushroom. I think maybe I'll bring the mushroom cap down a little bit further. There we go. And that's kind of the basic gist. And now I'm just going to start painting it in with these Arteza acrylic markers. I also have a couple of Sharpie acrylic markers that I may bring into the mix, just kind of depending on how things go. And I do know that these guys will require a couple of coats in order to kind of make it look not streaky, because you can see that it's a little bit streaky here. So this is going to take me a little bit to color this in, and that's going to be a little bit boring for you to watch. So, oopsies. I'll probably speed through much of this as I decorate my cover. So this is actually the first time I tried to kind of see what the cover decoration was going to look like on black before I actually just went ahead and put it on there. And I'm kind of glad that I did, because I had a couple of ideas that I tried out, and it just kind of helped me be able to see a little bit better what my final result was going to be, which is kind of nice to know. It's kind of like a little color comp, I guess. And I don't typically do those, so it was kind of nice to do that. So there is the base layer of the cap. Not amazing at the moment, but it is in there, so that's great. And then I'm going to do the base layer of the base. And when I first designed this, I had an idea in my previous sketchbook that this guy was going to be much smaller, but then I got thinking about it, and I kind of liked the idea of it being huge and taking up the majority of the cover here, and I think that's making me happy. I'm gonna take a second here and see if I can clean that little mistake up there. And I can, just a tiny bit of water. Nothing terribly exciting there. So now I'm going to go back in with a second layer of marker on here. I'm going to try the Sharpie. These are the creative markers. I got a couple of these just kind of as a sample at one point, and those are the only ones that I have. That actually seems to be maybe a little bit thicker on first go. But it might be because there's already a layer there. Yeah, you can definitely see a lot of splotchiness still, but I was expecting that. That's all good. I'm going to pick a slightly different color to kind of come into the base now. I'm wanting this to be kind of where my light is shining, so I want to kind of think about what some of my light shapes are going to look like, and then my shadow shapes. So there's definitely going to be kind of a shadow coming down like so. Stuff like that. Is this my original color? I don't know. And I don't mind a little bit of texture in the base here, because I actually do want that to look a little bit more textured than the top there. But we're going to keep working on that. Get some variation in color there. Because you can do a tiny bit of mixing with these colors, but you got to be kind of quick and careful with it to get it to work the way you want it to. That's not too bad. Let's kind of blah, 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 blah. Wow. Let's go ahead and come back up here and do another coat of red up here to just try and get this looking a little bit smoother. I'm going back to the Arteza red to see if it is any different with kind of a second coat on here. Seems to be working nicely. That's good. Alrighty, we still got a little bit of texture up there, but it's definitely getting better. Maybe my next coat, if I go back to the Sharpie, we can get rid of some of that texture. And I don't mind a little bit of texture. I just don't want it to be really obvious kind of brush strokes, if you will. So we'll kind of let that dry a little bit, and then we'll come back and do a little more. Oh wow, that's looking pretty cool, I think. I am pretty happy with how this is turning out. I think it's going to look really good. I think it's going to look really good. And then I'm just going to say sketchbook number 9 right down here in the corner. And I think it's going to be a pretty darn cute little sketchbook cover, if I do say so myself. I think this last layer, I'm just going to kind of try and keep the lines going in this kind of downward direction, which, if there is texture, I think I'm going to like that, the texture kind of coming down, because it's going to look kind of more natural for the mushroom anyway. So let's just try and keep all of this moving in a kind of common direction. Kind of stopping and shaking this occasionally, because it does seem that like the ink flow kind of lessens a little bit as you sit there and use it. So if I can do that, I can kind of keep the ink flow going at a more constant speed. Okie dokie, that is pretty dry. I've got a couple of white acrylic markers here. I think I'm going to start with the Arctics. I know that this one tends to be the least transparent, and I know that this one is pretty transparent. I am not sure how well this guy does. I haven't really used him too much, so I'm going to start here and just kind of start mapping out some of the spots on here. We'll come back in and give some of these a little bit more shadow and that sort of thing as well. I'm not going to go up very high with the white because I just kind of like how it looks. So now I'm going to come back in with this guy because I know that he tends to be, like I said, a little bit more opaque. I'm going to try and maybe use the lack of opacity on some of this as a hint at a shadow. And if that's not enough, then I can come back in with another kind of shadow color. Which at the moment, it's not looking like it's going to be enough, so that's okay. And I'm definitely picking up a little bit of the red paint underneath, and I'm getting kind of more of a pinky color on there, which is not what I want either. Okay, that's looking a little better. And now I'm looking for kind of a lighter gray color. There we go. This is the best that I've got, and I'm just going to kind of come in here and give just a little bit of texture, kind of to make it look like these guys are popping up off the mushroom. I'm just kind of following my pattern where shadows lie from down here, so all of my shadows are kind of off to the left. And I feel like I want to go just a skosh darker in some spots to really kind of sell it. And then let me come back in and kind of really... I didn't put any shadow on that guy at all. Somehow I missed him completely. I think that's pretty good. I like it. Yeah, I like it. That's cute. Now my question is, what color should I put this? I think I'm just going to do the sketchbook name in white. I can always change my mind if I don't like that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I've already got it sketched in here with pencil very lightly. You guys can't see it, but I can. So I'm going to try and follow my guidelines here as well as I can. I didn't measure any of this out. I did give myself some guidelines and kind of penciled in the letters. I mostly just kind of eyeballed the size and everything, so. But I wanted to take a little bit more time with the title this time than I did last time, because I was a little bit bummed about last time because the title was a little bit crooked and that annoyed me. So anyway, I think that's all she wrote. I'm pretty happy with it. The only thing that I wish I could do is put a little bit more kind of shadow on the red, but I don't have multiple shades of red, so it's just going to have to be what it is. This is the sketchbook cover for my 9th sketchbook, and I am actually really happy with it. I think it looks pretty cool. And this was my 8th one, and it is done. I really liked how this looked. I think this also kind of looks like something I might be able to buy in a store with that cute little painting on there. So yay, I think I'm getting better at this. Huzzah. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I will see you again next week where I'm not sure what we're going to do, but hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, give some comments below, do all the things. They'll help, and I'll see you later. Ta-ta.